Hey y'all, what is going on? This is Jesse Both from the 19th hole, and hopefully y'all had a blessed and wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. It is Tuesday, so that means Playdemic has released our next tournament of the season. So in this video, we're going to talk about that tournament and talk about the holes and the courses that we're going to see on the 9 holes during the tournament. First, I would like for y'all to look at the bottom of this page. Information for my social media platforms. If you would like to follow me or friend me on any of them, definitely feel free to do so. Also at the bottom is what you need to search for on Facebook if you want to become a part of my Facebook community, Golf Clash the 19th Hole, and we would love to see you there if you are not already a member. So what we have here is the Holiday Hills Tournament, and as you can see, this one's going to start next Monday, December 9th. It's going to cover 2 different courses. We got the Nordic Fjords course and the Greenwich Point course, both of which we have seen in tournaments in the past. Some of the holes on Nordic Fjords, though, we've only seen one time. So what we're going to do is talk in this video about those holes and maybe some of the routes that you can play in these holes when you're trying to practice for them on tour. We've got 4 divisions of play, like always, in the game of Golf Clash. You got Rookie, Pro, Expert, and Masters. Below is the breakdown of the prizes for each of those divisions, and what you see on the screen is the prize that you win for winning a gold banner on the weekend. So 100 people make the weekend rounds, and all 100 people receive a prize chest no matter where you finish. This is first place, and then it does scale down from here. You also do win chests during the tournament that you have to include as part of your prizes. At least I do, in my opinion. So it makes it makes where you play very important. If you play in the rookie division, you're going to get prize level 3 chests. If you play in the pro, level 6, expert level 9, and masters level 12. And these chests are basically the same type of chests that you win when you're playing tour play during the regular the game. The club cards that you will win in these chests are better as far as the quantity of the cards that you receive. So you will receive a few extra cards for winning these chests during the tournament compared to tour play, and that has been confirmed to me by other people as well that have played this game and have taken notice. So these are the rules for each level: Rookie, Pro, Expert, Masters. The Rookie play from the first tee, the Pro and Expert play from the second tee, and the Masters play from the third tee. The wins, as you can see, do go up and increase depending on which division you're playing in, and so does the needle speed. It goes up and finishes at a plus 50% additional needle speed in the Masters division. Also, you see this thing called the hidden spin in the Expert and Masters division. That means you will not be able to see your opponent's spin when they change their spins, and you won't be able to see their ball guide when they're setting up shots around the hole. In the Rookie and the Pro, those rules don't apply, so you'll still be able to see how your opponent is making adjustments to his shots and stuff like that. So these are the holes 1 through 9 here. We're going to go into a little bit better detail here in just a moment. But as you can see, they have them spread out and divided between the Nordic Fjords and the Greenwich Point. As always, 3 par 3s, 3 par 5s, and 3 par 4s. And that's pretty normal when it comes to these tournaments as far as the layout of the course goes. It's a little bit harder to see. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. No, it's going to distort the... Below in the description, below the holes, are where you can practice these holes. The Greenwich Point course, you'll be able to play them on tours 9 and 12. And then the Nordic Fjords course, you'll be able to play those on tours 5 and 10. I'm not 100% sure if Nordic Fjords is playable on 5, and I don't think Greenwich Point is playable on 12 at the moment. But I do know that tours 9 and or 8 and 9, or 9 and 10, do hold the courses currently in those specific tours. I think they will add the other 2 on Thursday, December 5th. So all 4 of those tours will contain the holes on Thursday, December 5th. All right, so we're going to go turn the camera off, and we're going to go and talk about these holes a little bit. We're not going to get into any huge detail. We're just going to talk, kind of like show you the routes and maybe talk about some of the elevations. So I'll be right back in just a second. All right, so we're going to start out here on our first hole, hole number 1, which is a par 3. And this hole right here is a hole that we've only seen one other time, which was in the Christmas Links tournament. And as I talk about each hole, I'm going to try to tell you the tournaments, most recent tournaments they've been used in, so that you can always go back and search through your favorite YouTuber and kind of try to look at their content if you want a better feel for how to play these holes during the tournament. So hole number 1 is a par 3. And this is going to be a hole that's, I think is going to be played somewhere, I think from the first tee, it's plus 15%. From this first tee for your elevation change. And then I want to say from the second tee we played at plus 30% as the elevation change in the last time we had this tournament. And basically, if you have a tailwind, you can land the shot anywhere from up here to down in this area right here. I think in the last tournament we even played a shot with a driver in the expert because we had a headwind. And in that case, we played the shot right down in here. Towards the hole. It is pretty severe downhill, and in the rookie you're going to be playing it most likely with a wood club if you play it far enough down, possibly a long iron if you play it farther up in the fairway, and then for the expert pro you're going to be using a wood club as well with any kind of tailwind, possibly sidewind, and you'll be using a driver with a headwind, which is kind of like what we had in the last tournament. We had like a side headwind in the last tournament we had this hole, so we had to use a driver. But in the rookie, I'm pretty sure plus 15% is how I play it. And even in the pro and expert, depending on where you're playing the shot at, I would play the shot as well at 15%. I think once you get lower down into the fairway section, that's when you start looking more at the plus 30%. But if you're playing this shot anywhere from in this area up in this area, then it's more at the plus 15. And just definitely, keep your eyes open, and if that number changes, it may change. Sometimes those numbers change depending on the wins that we have and the more experience we have playing these holes. Because like I said, we've only had this hole one time in the tournament. All right, hole number 2. This is a hole that we have seen, of course, in the Christmas Links tournament, and also again in the second anniversary tournament. And in my opinion, this is a hole that you always going to play to the left-hand side. I don't think this right-hand side is even in play. Unless there's some sort of crazy curl shot that they come up with in maybe the Masters level where they have just a really good right to left tailwind or something like that. But for the most part, we're going to be playing our shot into this area right here, bouncing our second bounce over this the sand pit, and then trying to roll our shot up to this end of this fairway as best as possible. Definitely be careful on your topspin when playing that shot, and I would play that first shot at plus 10%. With the rookies, you can use, I want to say you could use a quarterback on that shot if you really want to, which if you have a good enough quarterback, I would recommend that. If your quarterback isn't as leveled up, then you're looking at probably an extra mile and maybe even a Titan ball to get yourself in a good position. I think the Titan ball is better and more used for the second shot, which is a very long second shot to the green. And in the rookie, you're looking at the big dog. Unless you have really upgraded clubs, then you could probably go get away with a high-level sniper or something like that. But definitely it's a sniper shot in the pro and the expert as well. Depending on the second wind, you may have to overpower that shot a little bit. But for the second shot, we're playing 0% for that second shot. So 10% from the drive, 0% for the second shot. And even it may have been a slight uphill, or plus 5%, minus 5% on that second shot as well. But from what I remember, we played it at 0% for the second shot. Hole number 3 here, and this is a hole that we've had quite a bit. We had it recently in the Great Outdoors, and also the Winter Slopes and the Origin Links tournament. So this is a hole that's gotten around in these tournaments before. So the way I would play this hole would be plus 10% on the drive. And we're playing the shot into this area right here. You're bouncing it over the bunkers, you're hitting this rough here, and then you're trickling your shot out this way. This is a hole that you really have to pay attention to the wind direction, because you have to take into account the extended ball guide and the compressed ball guide. So if you have a tailwind, you want to give yourself a little bit extra room with that ball bouncing into that rough, because that extended ball guide is going to push that shot a little bit farther forward. In the opposite way, if you have a headwind, you want to aim that shot a little bit more out towards the edge of the rough, because that headwind is going to push the shot farther into the rough. With the side wind, I would just kind of basically play it safely where you want to land it. Just make sure that you're able to roll your shot out onto the fairway here, or get it onto the green, because I think this is definitely a must eagle hole for this tournament. If you're playing in a little higher level division, you have a driver with a good amount of backspin and right spin. You can play a shot out this way as well with backspin and right curl to take your shot towards the green that way as well. That is definitely another option on how to play this hole. If you're playing it straightforward, you're looking at clubs like the quarterback, the Thor, the APOC, and if you only have the extra mile, of course, the extra mile. But those are the clubs that you're going to be using mainly on this hole, because you do want topspin. If you have tailwind, you're not going to use that much topspin, probably about 2 to 3 bars. If you have a side wind, 3 to 4 bars of topspin. And if you have a headwind, you're looking at 5+ bars of topspin. But always, if you take one thing away from this video, be very mindful of the wind that you have and that extended and compressed ball guide. I think that is just one important thing that always seems to get people on this hole when they're playing it in the tournament. Hole number 4, we got par 3 here. This is from the Greenwich Point. We'll play this one at plus 10% here. You have different type of options as well for this hole. You can play a sniper shot, off the fairway here. You can play a sniper shot off the fairway here towards the hole. You can play a rough bump here with a driver with a little bit of backspin and full left spin. And then you can also play a driver shot, from on the fairway in the same type of line towards the hole that way. And, just to come to think of it, there's another shot you can play off this fairway with a driver. I would say the shot, this shot here and this shot here are more second tee type shots. And for the first shot, for the first tee, I would stick to the shots bouncing off the fairway over the bunker and towards the hole. These two shots right here, or even a wood shot there with backspin and left spin towards the hole. But this is definitely another hole that I think the ace can be dialed in on. And in the last tournament, we played a rough bump shot right here with the rock that played really well. So definitely, keep your options open, but there are definitely some really good routes to play on this hole to give yourself a good chance at the ace. But it is plus 10% for the drive. Hole number 5. Hole number 5, and on hole number 4, that one was found on the Great Outdoors and the Origin Links tournaments. So hole number 5, which is the hole that we're on currently, was also found in the Great Outdoors tournament, but it was found in the Platinum Resorts tournament for the other tournament. So for the tee shot here, plus 10%, you can play this shot either to the left-hand side here, where you bounce it over the bushes and the rough, you land it on the fairway, and then you try to roll it up to the edge of this fairway here. You can also play a shot to the right-hand side, where you bounce it here, over the rough, and then roll it up to the end of this fairway. If you have a really good tailwind, you could also try a power curl shot, where you land it on the fairway here, and you take the shot over the rough, those bushes, and you bring it up this fairway as far as you can to up in this zone right here. That's the shot that we were playing in the last tournament in the higher level divisions, and that left a very nice little wedge or short iron chip to the hole. So plus 10% is what I would play for the drive. If you have a drive back in the fairway, like in this area here, then I would play the second shot at 0%. If you are playing a shot up here in this area right here, then it's going to be kind of an uphill chip, and I'm looking at like minus 10, minus 20% for that shot, for that particular shot up in that area, and that gives you a really good chance to try to go at the hole. You can try to go for the dunk, or you can try to go for the shot where you bounce off the basically the fringe of the green and try to roll into the hole. But it's kind of like a really weird shaped green, and there's a lot of little curves, and it's a tough shot to make from that fairway back. So from the shot on the left hand side, I would play this one at 0% as well from this left hand side. So plus 10% for the drive, 0% for the shots back and left. And then when you get closer up to the green, then you're looking at more of an uphill shot, in my opinion, at the hole. Hole number 6, Greenwich Point course. This one was played in the Great Outdoors Open, the Winter Slopes, and then the Origin Links. Those were the 3 most recent tournaments that we played this hole on. So plus 20% for this tee shot. And we're playing our shot off of this fairway section here. You want a driver that has topspin, right spin. You could play this shot even with a quarterback if you want, if we have the correct tailwind. But I've always been more of an extra mile Thor APOC player on this hole. With topspin and right spin, you want to bounce it over, bounce it onto the fairway, and then roll it up the fairway as far as you can. You do want to try to stay, to the right-hand side of that line, because if you're on the left-hand side of that line, then you have a shot, you're taking a shot through the tree. From the right-hand side of this line, you're taking a shot to the right-hand side of that tree, and then you have a better shot at the hole. For the second shot, 0% will be your elevation. You're going to use a lot of right spin, and somewhere between 1 backspin to 1 topspin to bounce it off this platform, down the hill, land it on this little fairway, and then roll it down to the hole, hopefully for a good chance at the Albatross. This is definitely a hole where you're going to see some people rolling in the Albatross, but it all starts at the drive and getting yourself set up for a good second shot clear of these trees. Do be careful of those trees, especially when you're talking about curling shots. Definitely be careful with the curl that you use on that second shot, because if you hit those trees, and you're going to fall down, and you're really going to be giving away a stroke to the field. This is a hole where you want to get the Albatross, but you cannot afford to not get the Eagle, because mostly everybody's going to be eagling this hole. Hole 7, this one right here is going to depend on the wind, and that's going to decide the way we play this hole as far as the the strategy goes. Plus 20% on the drive, and you're either going to be taking your shot off the fairway here or here. So if we have a right to left wind, we'll be playing the shot to the right. If we have a left to right wind, we'll be playing the shot to the left. If we have this kind of a tailwind, we're playing the shot to the left. If we have this kind of tailwind, we're playing the shot to the right. No matter which way you play it, you want to have a ball with some spin, and most likely long iron for rookies, and wood clubs for pro and the expert. But this is definitely a fun hole. The green does slope back here as well, so if you accidentally mess up and miss bad, the ball should still roll back down to the hole, and you should be okay for that shot. I want to say possibly some people have tried working on a little bit of a rough bump right here. On that rough, it's a very small amount of rough to work with, so it would probably take a very perfectly angled side wind to even think about trying that rough bump, in my opinion. But it's still there, and it's a possibility. Hole number 8, and depending on the wind we have, this could be a must eagle hole as well. So plus 15% on this drive, and if we have a tailwind, we're going to be laying our shot in this zone right here. You're going to want to bring your driver with your best topspin and most power, because you want to be bouncing your shot over the water, hitting the rough here, and then rolling out to the hole. And if we get a good tailwind, it wouldn't surprise me to see some par 4 aces here on this hole. So basically, anything around this green is a really easy chip or putt for the eagle. It is a very flat green, so it makes chipping and putting very nice. But definitely, if you use too much topspin or you fly that rough, you will fly through into this rough right here, and that's not good. So if we get some sort of a tailwind in that situation, then we're going to have to play a shot to this left-hand side. We just want to try to get ourselves as far up to the top of the second fairway as possible to give ourselves a second shot at the hole with most likely a long iron. So if we are over there, that shot will be plus 10%. For that second shot, and the drive will be plus 20% for that drive. All right. Hole number 9, and this hole right here, The only time we've seen this hole was on the Christmas Links tournament, which was last year. And on hole number 8, it was Winter Slopes and Origin Links tournament, were the only 2 times we've seen hole number 8 in a tournament. So this one right here, and in my opinion, to the left-hand side is the best way to play this hole, plus 10%. And we're taking our shot up the left-hand side. You want to bring your driver with the best power and the best topspin, because the farther you can get up this fairway, the better chance you have at maybe giving yourself a chance to hole out an albatross for the second shot. From the first tee, you're going to be really hard-pressed to have a good chance to hole out an albatross. You're really just playing for the eagle, in my opinion. For that reason, I would bring a second club like a big dog to make sure you have the ability to get to this hole. You're going to be bouncing your shot in here and trying to get to this hole with top spin. You may have to overpower the shot from the first tee or with lower level clubs to get there. So definitely take that into consideration when you are picking your club and trying to hit that perfect ball. For the pro and the expert, I think we should be able to get into a spot where we can play the shot with our sniper. And, a lot of that may depend on the second wind that we get. If we get some sort of a head or a side wind, it may make that second shot to the green a little bit more difficult. But with a tailwind, we should be able to get to that hole and give ourselves a run at the albatross at least. But I think it'll be a much lower percentage albatross on this hole than maybe some of the other par 5 chances for the albatross. Trying to think if there's anything else to say. You can play the shot to the right-hand side still. That is definitely an option. And for that shot, you'd play either bouncing before this rough or maybe even after the rough, probably before it. But you're just trying to get your shot up into this area right here. From there, you could take a shot off this fairway right here with some right spin, trying to direct it toward the hole. Or you could go straight to this section here and try to bounce it over in that way toward the hole, most likely just kind of ending up in that zone for a short little chip. So for the second shot is 0% for the second shot over here. All right, and on the right-hand side, I would play that second shot as well at, I'd play the second shot on the right-hand side probably at plus 10% for the second shot. All right, y'all, thank you very much. That was a quick little overview of the tournament, a little bit of elevation talk and path, the way to play these holes. Definitely get out there and practice to the best of your ability. I know for the rookies it may be a little bit more difficult because you only have access to the one course on Tour 5 starting on Thursday. But for the pro and the expert, you're going to have access to both courses, so you're going to have a chance to get out there and practice the holes a little bit. I do plan on putting out a rookie video guide for this tournament, just because the rookies don't have quite as much access to these holes. So I think a rookie video guide would definitely help, and it will be videos taken from my past tournaments. So the fact that they are actually tournament wins should be able to help you all see what you can expect come on Monday when the qualifications begin. Thank you very much for hanging out. If you enjoyed the video, definitely hit that thumbs up. If you have any suggestions to help make the video better without really extending the video too much farther, definitely please leave those in the comment section below as well. As always, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscription button and also set up the notifications so that you can be notified when I release new videos. And if you're not a member of our Facebook page yet, on Facebook, it is Golf Clash the 19th Hole. If you put it in the search bar, you'll pull it up. It's somewhere over like 7,000 members now, so it should be pretty easy to recognize when you do search for it. All right, y'all. Have a great week. God bless.